Hey everybody, Nick here with Acres of Grace Farms, and so it's a beautiful day out today. We were supposed to get some rain, but it's not, so we came back to the field. So it is June the 2nd, and a lot of y'all are going to say, that's a little late to plant corn. It is, except for we plant a lot of silage corn for our own cattle, and that we sell to some other producers in our area, and so we space out our plantings over the course of about a 2-month period so that we lengthen our harvest window. But what I want to talk to you about today is something that's new on our farm this year that we're doing, and that is strip tillage. Now, typically, we have always been no-till, one from a labor standpoint, but also an equipment standpoint, and then also just trying to be good farmers, good stewards. We have a lot of rolling land that doesn't necessarily need to be worked every year. He found a worm, which is an indicator of soil health, which is great. He loves earthworms. But over the past few years, I had noticed we do a lot of cover crops, as you can see. This field here a month ago had cattle grazing in it. It was in crops last year, cover crop, cattle, and now we're going to go back with corn this year. But for us, spacing out the window, I started seeing stand issues with my corn in particular, cutting through some of the residue. And then also we've always just broadcast our fertilizer where we're no-till. And I got to thinking that maybe there was a better way. And so we invested in a strip till rig this year. That in this tank, it's a liquid rig, and there are different variations. You can do liquid or dry, but ours here is doing liquid. And we're putting out a very large percentage of our fertilizer with for this corn crop with this rig. So it comes out here at the very bottom of this shank, and we're running it about 4 to 6 inches, depending on the spot of the field, down into the ground. And then we will plant directly back on top of that strip. So in the mixture that we're using is nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, micronutrients, humic acids, a biological stimulant for the soil microbes. So it's not just fertilizer, we're also trying to feed the microbiome of the soil here as well. And so it's new to us this year. We're seeing some good results out of it so far that we'll talk about in another video. But we wanted to get some shots of us doing it here in the field today.
Goes around. That's right.
So we're up here in the tractor now that's pulling the strip till rig. This tractor here is guidance ready. So it has SF3 guidance on it. Basically what we're able to do is this tractor, the GPS, tells it where to go, where to drive in straight lines. I'll download the data off of this tractor into the planter tractor, and the planter tractor drives those exact same paths. So we have an 8-row strip till rig, we have an 8-row planter, so they match up perfectly. The planter will drive right on top of the row. So the strip till is not only putting fertilizer in the ground, which is a huge thing, but we're also loosening that seed bed and root zone up for that early corn plant. And so it's got a nice little, it's got its fertilizer down there, it's got its nice seed bed so that we can get some really good emergence and really good stands. the tractor's driving itself.
No, you drive.
I don't have to drive. The tractor drives itself. So on the screen here, these newer tractors have really incredible computer monitors that give all sorts of data, but this field that I stay on a lot, the white line tells me which line that the tractor is driving. It paints it blue to show that I've already been down through there. This is my rate controller, so this is showing me that I'm putting out 24 gallons to the acre that the master switch is on and what my target rate is. I can scroll through a lot of different things on my tractor. It tells me counters, temperature. So, you know, tractors these days are really, really high-tech computers with wheels is basically what they are. Hey, so here's Nick with Acres of Grace. So in the earlier video, we were actually out in the field strip tilling ahead of time. So this field we planted about a month ago. And so we strip tilled it and then planted right on top of it. But as you can see in the little row here behind me, if you look in the distance, you see it's nice and straight until we get to right here and there's a curve. And that's called operator error, as in Nick's error, as in I hit the wrong button on the tractor and it was not driving itself correctly. What you can also notice, if you look in the distance, how nice and even that corn is. When you get right up here, it's about 3 to 4 inches shorter and has a different coloration to it. Now that may be hard to see on the video, but I think you can see it faintly. That is because we got it off of the strip where the fertilizer is. So this corn's having to run roots out a little bit further to get that fertilizer, and we can see a difference in it here. And then we've got another spot that's even more noticeable in the difference. So we'll head down there next. Hey guys, so we're down here at the other spot we were talking about. As you see here in the distance, right along this field hedge here, I was able to make one last pass strip tilling. These last few rows I was not. And so you can see a very marked difference between the corn that was just flat out planted and the corn that was planted in the strip till row.